Hello and welcome back. Right now, across social media, a lot of Americans are asking one question. Are we about to get drafted? And with things escalating between the US and Iran, I'm not gonna lie, these conversations are getting louder and louder. But before we get started with this video, hello, I'm Selena Gardner, and I am a new YouTuber, so your support would mean the absolute world to me. So go ahead, be a hero, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff, and let's be friends. I'm not gonna waste so much of your time, so let's get started. So, last week, I saw this clip of Sean Timmons talking about the US draft, and honestly, I didn't think it was a big deal. But this week, today, oh, things are absolutely heating up, so we need to pay attention. Let's go ahead and just watch this clip real quick of Sean Timmons talking about the US draft.
Eligibility for student
Let me
loans
get it
is
started from the
dependent
beginning.
on.
Who would be eligible and ineligible for the draft?
Very good question. All U.S. Men, that is citizens, non-citizens, even undocumented immigrants, are required by federal law to register with the Selective Service Administration under the age of 20, between ages of 18 and 26. So if you're in that time frame, you are required by law to register with the Civil Service Administration. They keep your name in a database and a roster, and eligibility for student loans is dependent on registration. So if you're a male and you're 18 years old, you need to make sure you register with the Civil Service Administration and your name is available for access should a mobilization be required. Military draft is.
So, yeah, guys, like I said, I saw this clip last week and I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. But with the way things looking right now, I'm not really sure. I think it's very possible that the US draft, that the US will start drafting people because allies are not coming in to help. And even troops are expressing how angry they are with Donald Trump because they don't want to be there. They don't want to go fight a war that they have nothing to do with. But again, I don't know. Do you think that that the US will start drafting people if necessary? I honestly don't know. Let me know in the comment section. But let me show you another clip. Um yeah. Let's watch this clip, and apparently, like I said, some troops are not very happy and they have expressed that they're angry about the situation. So, watch this real quick.
Donald Trump is panicking. Not only has his 48-hour ultimatum to Iran been rejected, but American troops are now expressing how angry they are at Donald Trump and his regime. You are aware, based on our prior reporting, that Iran said it will not give up control over the Strait of Hormuz in 48 hours after Donald Trump threatened war crimes against Iran, that he would blow up all of the energy civilian infrastructure if Iran didn't give up the Strait of Hormuz. Now we're hearing from U.S. troops. Here's what U.S. troops are saying behind the scenes. And we already knew that morale was very low, especially amongst the Navy members of the USS Gerald Ford and the Abraham Lincoln. Now we're hearing those being sent on this Marine Expeditionary Force that are likely being sent to Iran to invade the Karg Island are absolutely livid. Their families are obviously incredibly worried. Nobody knows what the goals and objectives are, and Donald Trump just rants and raves like a lunatic on social media. U.S. troops in the Iran conflict are increasingly uneasy, citing stress, safety concerns, and unclear goals. Some describe a lack of planning, with one official warning a ground operation would be an absolute disaster. Many troops are questioning the purpose of the war in the first place, with some saying, quote, "We do not want to die for Israel. We do not want to be political pawns." This comes from a recent report by Huffington Post. And in the past 24 hours,
So, yeah, guys, I mean, even the troops in Iran, the American military troops, have expressed that they're not happy with this. So, to know that the majority of the American public are not happy about this, and they don't want this war, nor do they even want to go into this war, because a lot of Americans right now are more worried about getting health insurance. They're more worried about having affordable groceries, and gas prices are skyrocketing. So yeah, Americans have more issues here at home. So to ask us that, or the men to be drafted or to come and volunteer, it could be a little too much, but I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. You let me know in the comment section if the US needs your help. Would you go and volunteer to help? And if you don't, would you be okay with the US drafting young men and women? And also undocumented immigrant. Anyways, you let me know in the comment section, because I honestly don't know what is going to happen. But let me show you another clip of Jim Mattis talking about how other allies are so important for us right now if we were to win this war with Iran. And by the look of it, a lot of allies are not trying to be part of this war. So anyways, let's go ahead and watch this clip real quick. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, there we go.
Donald Trump. Let's play this clip right here.
How would you estimate the likelihood of the regime's falling?
I do not believe the regime will fall in the near future. Now, understand, war is fundamentally unpredictable. Fundamentally, that is part of war. So what I'm saying could be completely reversed in 24 hours. But I think it is very unlikely that regime will fall anytime soon. I think we're going to have to deal with it. So how do you deal with it? I'd suggest that America has got some of the greatest strengths, our economy, our education system. We have ways of engaging with the world no other country has. And yes, we need a very strong military to defend this idea of a democracy. But at the same time, if we don't use all of our strengths, and there I would point to allies, without them, we're not going to get there.
You say in your memoir, nations with allies thrive, those without them die. Whether we like it or not, we are part of a world that needs allies. And yet, President Trump has said, we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. So can the United States succeed in this war without allies other than Israel?
No.
Ooh. All right.
What is your...
So the short answer that Jim Mattis here says, no. Yeah, so we need allies. But here's the thing. If allies do not want to step in and help, and a lot of the troops are not very happy, it sounds like this draft is possible. You know what I mean? But a lot of Americans don't want to be part of this war. And because of that, do you think we could be forced into going into this war? I mean, if they're talking about drafting Americans, yeah, it sounds like it's possible. But anyways, let's go ahead and watch what Americans think about this draft.
The crazy part is, if y'all really think y'all are gonna get anyone in Gen Z or lower to go into this fucking war, you're fucking stupid. We're not doing that. That shit's not happening. Now, if you want to make it interesting, slap a solid $500K at my feet. I might consider it. I might consider it. But you can't threaten me with going to jail if I don't do it, because I'll go to jail. I'll just walk to jail. I'll take myself. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry. I'll go. You know what I'm saying? Willingly. But you can't threaten me with that. So, I don't know what you want to tell me. You know what I'm saying? Go to war or go to jail, I'm going to jail. 10 times out of 10, every time. But if you want to say, go to war, $500K right here, and $10,000 every time you kill someone,
So yeah, guys, let me ask you a question. If they offer a really good incentive, would you volunteer to go, fight this war in Iran? Would you? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what a lot of Americans are going to decide to do. Again, a lot of Americans are having a hard time dealing with this economy right now. So maybe a good incentive will have people say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and off people." I don't know. You let me know. Let's watch another clip.
With the conflict in Iran, it's opened up conversations about the potential of a draft and what that might mean for, in particular, young men in America if a draft were to happen. The FY 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, signed in December of 2025, mandates that the Selective Service System automatically register eligible men aged 18 to 26 using existing federal records such as the DMV or Social Security data, rather than requiring individual registration. As of December of 2026, you will automatically be registered. Just using info from the DMV or Social Security, you won't have to show a passport, you won't have to show a birth certificate to be registered and potentially drafted to be sent off to war, and let's face it, possibly die. In unrelated news, if the Safeguard American Voting Eligibility or SAVE Act passes, this is what you're going to need to be able to vote: a birth certificate, a passport, or an enhanced driver's license. And that's an enhanced driver's license, not a real ID. Real ID has the little star. Enhanced driver's license has this little American flag in the corner, and it's only available in 5 states currently. Only 5 states offer it, and still, it requires someone to go to the DMV and spend time and money to change their license over, and that is something that a lot of Americans simply can't afford. On top of that, 2.6 million Americans don't have government-issued photo IDs, so they're automatically out. Next, you've got passports. Passports, again, take time and money. And no one who isn't planning to travel outside of the country really cares to get one. They're not going to get that, so that's out, but there's always the birth certificate thing, right? 21 million Americans can't easily access their citizenship documents. And here's the other thing with that. Your birth certificate, if you were a woman and you got married and your name changed, does not reflect your current name.
Noted.
So it's out. But that's not what they want, right? They're not doing this to keep women from voting, right?
Today, I introduced an amendment that would have stopped this bill from being implemented unless we could just certify that no eligible married woman would be denied the right to vote. That should go without saying. Republicans blocked it. Let me repeat that. Republicans voted down my amendment that just would have ensured that women who are eligible and registered could still cast their ballot. This puts up to 70 million women at risk of disenfranchisement. 70 million. That's 1 in 4 voters in this country.
Oops, seems like maybe it is. So to recap, you don't need a passport or a birth certificate to be drafted into a war to die for your country, but you will need one to be able to have a say in who the person is who's starting the war and sending you there in the first place.
So yeah, guys, what do you think about that? It's scary time that we're living in, and honestly, I am as lost as you. So anyways, I, I don't really want to share my opinion regarding what I think about this whole situation. I just want to hear from you all and tell me what you think about this draft. Ultimately, I just want the American public to have a good life, for the economy to get better, and for people to be able to afford health insurance and their groceries. And honestly, if unless somebody, unless a country or whatever, an entity threatens American lives directly, I don't see the point of being part of this. Let's watch another clip.
Military draft? Are you fucking kidding me? You think that Gen Z and millennials, younger millennials.
And by the way, this is how a lot of Americans feel. They want absolutely nothing to do with this war. I mean, just go on TikTok and just scroll up and down. And honestly, you will see how a lot of millennials and Gen Z feel about this war. And if it's volunteer based, nobody is going to volunteer. At least not that many. At least not that many. But then I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. I don't know. But let's go ahead. Listen to this.
Are going to go get drafted to fight in the Iran war? You've got to be outside of your fucking minds. Two of the most unserious generations. Two of the generations that have gotten fucked over the most with policies
That
the last
part.
20 fucking years.
Yeah.
We can't afford shit.
Yeah.
I think this generation is going to sign up and fight a war for Benjamin Netanyahu and the guy that is all over the files that is clearly distracting from it. You've got to be outside your mind. If you thought fragging was bad in Vietnam, just fucking wait. Just wait.
Hear me out, hear me out. I'll give you food, housing. If you're interested in going to college someday, maybe like 10% of you, boom, we'll pay for that. Health insurance, retirement, disability, all yours if you give me 3 to 4 years of your time. What we're going to do, we're going to poison the drinking water, poison the food, poison the air. We're going to run experiments on you without you knowing, probably do some mind control stuff, and you're never going to mentally be the same again. Do we have a deal? No, I'm not going to force you. This isn't a draft. I'm asking.
Guys, I could show you even more clips. Like I said, a lot of people are not gonna willingly try to be part of this war because, like I said, what Americans really want is to be able to afford life again. But, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. Let's watch a couple more clips and we'll end the video.
I genuinely hope that there is a draft. Okay, I really do hope the United States government activates the Selective Service and starts the actual draft. Okay, stay with me. I want there to be a draft because I genuinely
No. I don't hope for that. I don't hope for that unless we absolutely need it and Americans' life are in danger, then yeah, absolutely. We go fight for our country and we do what we need to do. But to just start drafting people to go fight in a war that has absolutely no benefit for the American public, no, I do not support that. But let's go ahead and listen to this person.
I think that would be a surefire way that we could finally cause enough of a ruckus to get some genuine fucking change going on in our government. You guys think about it, all the bitching and little fighting that we do between the generations, right? All the millennials talk shit about Gen Z, the Gen Z makes fun of the millennials for being cringe. There is one thing I think that we can give Gen Z 100% credit for, and it's the fact that if they do decide to instill the draft, we all know for a fact that Gen Z is not fucking going. And it's not a dig on their generation like, oh, they can't handle going to war. No, it's the fact that no Gen Z is going to be like, yeah, I'm willingly going to want to go fight and die for a tiny little country in the Middle East because we know that's who's really running shit, right? Like, nobody's going to want to go fight and die on behalf of them just because of a regime change war that we're once again in the middle of.
A regime change? I don't think that's even happening, to be honest. As far as I know, Iran still has the same regime. So,
You want to know why people willingly went for a draft back in the day? It's because there wasn't any social media. Okay, nobody was talking to each other.
That is very true. People back in the days were willing to be drafted or volunteer to go fight for this country. But today, a lot of young people have information in their fingertip. And so they know what's going on in the world, at least for the most part. But yeah, that's a very valid point right there.
It was, oh, we got to go do our duty. We got to go fight for the country. Nobody's doing that shit now because we all really know what's going on. We're sending billions of our fucking tax dollars to go support some tiny little country in the Middle East that is trying to inflict its will upon the region. And we're going to willingly go fight and die for that. Meanwhile, over here in the United States of America, we can't get health care to save our lives. We can't afford to live our own lives. And you expect us to take arms and be like, yeah, America, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, in a way, I kind of do hope that that there is a draft because I genuinely do believe it would go down in history as a monumental moment when the United States tried to create a draft in 2026 to go send freedom fighters to go fight Iran, right, for the cause, only for the whole fucking country to literally give a big F you to the government and be like, go fuck yourself, we're not going. Imagine the shitstorm that would cause if everybody that got drafted just genuinely was like, go fuck yourself, we're not going. Okay, like, and think about what the implications of that would be, and then think of the other things that could start steamrolling after that. A bunch of people refuse to enter into the draft. Then maybe we start talking about taxes. Then things just start genuinely coming together, and the people, aka you and I, who are just continuously getting bent over and fucked by the top 1% ruling elite, can finally start getting together and being like, you know what? Maybe us 99% have a little bit of say in how this is going to go moving forward. I genuinely hope.
So yeah, guys, he made some good points. But again, you know, maybe the government will offer some great incentives and a lot of people would go. Like I said, a lot of people they need the help. So I don't know how things are gonna unfold, but I do hope for the best. Okay, one last clip and we'll call it a video, I promise.
Well, break and fuck the news and fuck all of us, I guess, because it looks like the U.S. military draft is now talking about 18 through the ages of 39. Bruh, I'm 30. On top of that, I'm diagnosed with schizophrenia, and I've been since the age of 16. Am I even useful for this? However, though, the only thing I can see is, like, unless you got bone spurs, you're going. Bro, I'm not about to fucking die for this billionaire, bro. Fuck y'all.
Anyways, guys, I've showed you all the clips that I have, and honestly, my opinion on this are very limited. Because, again, like I said, if American lives are threatened and we need to fight for our country, I think Americans will do it. But this time, a lot of Americans have lost faith in this current administration. And a lot of Americans are in debt, you know, and tired and sick of it all. So, yeah, I just really hope for the best. Ultimately, I want everybody to just have a good life, whether here in America or even in Iran. But, you know, let's be real. I don't think, you know, we need to be that naive. Things can get really bad. But my question for you today for this video, will you go and volunteer and serve, you know, this administration and fight in Iran? Or will you just say, no, I don't want part of it? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I have made this video so many times. I am depleted, so I'm gonna call it a video. Just yeah, comment and let me know how you feel about this video. I love you. I will see you later. Bye.